マレーシアに来ております。
I wouldn't recommend to do this kind of very intense exercise every day.
That's interesting and very fun. Okay.
こんにちは、石川裕太です。今日はですね、実はどこにいるかというと、マレーシアに来ております。なぜそんなところにいるんですかっていうね、ことなんですけど、実は先日ですね、私のモーニングルーティンの動画見ていただきましたでしょうか。そのモーニングルーティンの動画ね、私も相当、これまでね、勉強してきて、お金もね、散々投資してきて自分の若返り努めてきたわけなんですけれども、そのモーニングルーティンがですね、果たして世界最先端のドクターやそういった論文を追い続ける方々にとってですね、本当に最適なものになっているのかっていうのをですね、今日はチェックしてもらおうと思ってます。でですね、実はマレーシアに私が絶大な信頼を置いているですね、ドクターがいますので、彼と一緒にですね、この動画を確認していただいて、でそこでですね、実際に私のモーニングルーティンでさらによくできないのかっていうね、ダメ出し動画を撮っていきたいと思っております。なので私としてはね、ちょっと、気持ちが難しいところはあるんですけどね、ちょっとオープンマインドに、素直にイライラせず聞いていきたいなと思ってます。で、この動画をね、見ていただければきっとあなたもですね、一つや二つ、モーニングルーティン、朝やるとね、若返られるような習慣を見つけられると思いますので、ぜひね、最後までご視聴ください。それでは行ってきましょう。はい、それではですね、クリニックの方にやってまいりました。私の方でね、本当絶大な信頼を置いていて、かれこれ5年以上ですかね、お付き合いがあるドクターに来ていただいています。ここから詳しく私のモーニングルーティンについて伺っていきたいと思っています。それでは、very nice seeing you. Okay, so have you watched my morning routine video?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw.
Okay, great. And I'm doing my best, but of course, because of my, I'm busy and also I want to do so many things. So I think it's okay, but still I can get better. So could you tell me how I can get better and also, in order to get younger, and also be healthy?
So I saw your video
Thank you.
on your morning routine. First of all, I think it's something pretty solid and strong. Yeah, but since you want to be more healthy, you want to pursue longevity and performance, I will be more strict and see what we can improve further. Yeah.
Great. Okay, very exciting. Okay, can you please start from number one?
Okay. So for number one, I think once you wake up, the light exposure is very important. That I need to know when do you, what time do you wake up normally?
So really depending on the days, but normally between 7 to 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any light exposure, natural light exposure?
In my house?
During that time? The time when you wake up, is there sun rise already?
Yeah, sun over here.
Okay.
In Japan.
So it's important for you to be exposed to the sunlight the first thing when you wake up.
Wow.
Because it actually helps you to reset your circadian rhythm. Then it will help to regulate your cortisol level. Then it affects your stress level on the daytime, and then also will affect your sleep later in the day.
Got it. So immediately, right after you wake up. So,
first thing.
Wow, first thing.
Yes.
So before even wash my face or
Yes.
brush teeth, anything, just go outside.
Exactly. You need to let the sunlight go into your eyes. Then you will have to regulate your overall rhythm.
Great to know. Okay. But let's say if someone is waking up at about 5 or 5:30, if the sunlight is not coming up, then what should we do?
So there are some devices that will imitate the sunlight, which they give very bright light. So this can be used as a replacement for natural sunlight in order to actually reset your rhythm.
Nice.
Circadian.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah. So based on your routine, I saw that you actually go to the rooftop and go under the sun. Yeah, but it's important that you have the first sunlight into your eyes before you have any screen time, before you take your supplement, before anything. So that's the best time for you to have the sunlight exposure, and then maybe you just have to expose yourself for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Every day.
5 minutes. Okay, that's easy.
Yes. So the second thing, I would say you need to measure your HRV.
Oh, HRV.
Yes, that stands for heart rate variability.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something important that we get to know your nervous system status, and then also it affects your recovery. Yeah. So based on HRV, you can actually guide your training or workout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because if your HRV is high, you can go for the intense workout. You can push harder. If your HRV is moderate, maybe you go with it, moderate exercise. And then if it's very low, means your nervous system is under strain. So it's better for you to go for a lower intensity kind of exercise.
Okay. So it's better to calculate, measure, so that
Yes.
we can work out properly.
Yes.
Got it. Interesting. Can we buy that in anywhere?
Yeah.
Amazon
So
or whatever?
to measure HRV, there are a few devices. For example, things like Aura Ring can be used to measure,
Okay.
and things like Whoop band
Yeah.
also can be used. I think some of the smartwatches like Garmin or maybe Apple, I'm not sure about Apple, but maybe Garmin will have that features. So you can use those simple device to actually measure HRV.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean like in the morning first thing we
when you
can
wake
check,
up. Yeah.
or just nighttime, like sleep?
I think
time?
best is the morning.
In the morning.
It shows how your nervous system, what is your nervous system status after your sleep, after you wake up. So it can help to guide your the day workout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So we don't have to buy like a big machine or
Yeah.
anything like that
Not
now these
necessarily.
days. Okay.
Yeah. We go more practical way, which is those simple wearables will do.
Okay.
According to studies in America, there's people who uses HRV guided training perform better, they
Wow.
recover better than compared to they have a fixed schedule of training.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Since you are doing a lot of like active workout,
Yeah.
it will be a good guidance.
Okay, great to know. So even not only normal people, even like athletes or even
Yes.
entrepreneurs can use this
Yes.
strategy.
Yes. Not only affecting workout, but it will affect how you perform in work every day. Yeah. If your HRV is high, means you can do a more intense kind of work. Yeah, you have better energy, better performance.
Okay, great. So we can adjust for the work, how we work too in the day.
Exactly.
Okay, great to know. Great to know. So, but I want to ask you one question. Why the HRV is very important for all of us?
So HRV actually measures the variation in between your heartbeat. So it's actually reflecting your nervous system status. Our system, there's something to control our stress and all, called autonomic nervous systems. So from HRV, we can actually know more about our current status. Then it can help us to guide on our work.
Interesting. Okay, great to know. Is there anything else that maybe I should get better? I mean, of course, it's very hard for me to ask you about. Is there anything else that we can?
Yeah, from your routine, I see you do, once you wake up, you do have some gratitude practice and some visualization, which is, I think, very good.
Thank you.
A good way to start your day. Yeah. If you want to have even more optimum kind of like practice, I will actually add in some breathing exercise.
Oh,
Yeah.
breathing exercise.
So breathing will actually help you to calm down the nervous system before you go into those gratitude or your visualization. Yeah. These three combined is a very powerful tool. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I would recommend, you can maybe you prepare 3 minutes, 1 minute each for this. You start with 1 minute of breathing, slow breathing, long breathing, deep breathing. Then you start off with your gratitude practice, then your visualization. Yeah, I think
Nice.
it's a good routine to have.
Okay, great. Even like we can finish in 3 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
3
great.
minutes.
So breathing exercise, even 1 minute is enough.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. You
Okay.
can start with 1 minute. Yeah, then slowly extend maybe 2-3 minutes will do.
Okay. So breathing exercise 1 minute. What is the maybe best way to do that? Just
Best way, I think you need to make sure you actually inhale very deep. We call that as a diaphragmatic breathing. And you breathe in, you try to have your tummy come up so that your lung can fully expand. Then you get more oxygen in. By doing that, it can also helps you to shift your nervous system into this parasympathetic mode. Yeah. So parasympathetic mode will help you to like tap into your unconsciousness, and then also better visualization.
Okay. Great. Awesome. So as you mentioned in the beginning, we should go out or we should get sunlight.
Yes.
And whoever cannot get sunlight because of the time, then we can buy the,
artificial sunlight
Yep.
to imitate them.
Okay, from Amazon or wherever.
Yeah.
The second thing was the HRV measure, and then third thing is breathing exercise. Great. Is there anything else that maybe I can get?
Yeah, then we move on to the grooming and cleaning practice.
Yep.
I saw that you do use electrical brushing and you do some facial routine.
Yep.
I think which is good. But on the oral hygiene part, I think there can be more improvement.
Okay.
So normally I would recommend my patients to do actually something called oil pulling.
Okay, oil pulling.
Yeah, oil pulling is basically using a virgin coconut oil. You take 1 tablespoon of it, you keep in your mouth, you swish around for 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Just swish around before you brush your teeth.
Okay, before.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you actually need to speed it up. Yeah, because it helps to virgin coconut oil helps to kill the germs, and then it helps to reduce the toxins and the bacterial load in your mouth. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's less harsh compared to the alcohol-based kind of mouthwash. So it's a good practice that will help to. It won't disrupt your oral microbiome as well. Yeah, it's a good way to clean your mouth.
Okay, great. So, okay, you said before even brush our teeth, right?
Yes.
We have to do that coconut virgin oil. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, and then on top of that, the toothpaste that you use is also pretty important because most of the toothpaste contains fluoride, right? Fluoride to protect the enamel.
Yeah.
But chronic excessive exposure of fluoride, it may affect some people's thyroid function, the nervous system. So right now, I normally recommend to go for fluoride-free toothpaste. Yeah. So research has shown that fluoride-free toothpaste that contains xylitol, that uses xylitol and hydroxyapatite, has equivalent dental protection effect, and then it's fluoride-free.
Yeah.
So
That's
I think this is something that I would recommend
Great.
on top of your existing routine.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
So, I think 5 minutes, 10 minutes is quite long. So can we start maybe a couple minutes or?
Yeah, you can start with shorter period, but even if you actually 5 minutes is not that long. You can just keep it in your mouth. You can do other things. You can wash your face. You do other things. Yeah. Then
Speed it up.
speed it up. Then only you brush your teeth.
Okay. That's great to know. Okay. So even before brush, and then after that we can brush our teeth.
Yes.
Or, yeah.
Yes. You can gargle a bit with some water, and then you can start brushing your teeth.
Okay.
So instead of using things like Listerine and all, it's quite harsh to your oral, your gum and also your microbiome. You may disrupt the oral microbiome. So instead of using that very harsh and strong alcohol-based mouthwash, I suggest to replace with this.
Sounds good. Okay, so we go out after we woke up. We go outside immediately, right?
Yeah, you don't have to go outside immediately. At least you have some exposure to sunlight.
Sunlight, and then
the window probably.
Yeah. Okay, and then secondly, we can
Measure.
measure HRV,
Yes.
And then after that, we can do the breathing and gratitude work and also visualization.
Yes.
And then after that, oil pulling.
Yeah.
And then brush your teeth.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Because oral hygiene is very important, that it links to things like heart disease, links to brain inflammation, and then also affects aging. If you have a lot of inflammation in your mouth, it can actually affect other organs as well.
Okay.
That's why I emphasize a lot on the oral health.
Great to know. Awesome.
Okay, after brushing the teeth, I saw you drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe too much, yeah.
Not to say too much, but the water that you drink should contain some minerals or electrolytes.
Okay.
So it would be good to add in some mineral or electrolytes solution into the water. Then you will, because I see you do work out a lot, so
Yeah, I do,
you
yeah.
tend to sweat a lot, then you lose all the electrolytes. If you don't replenish it back, it will cause imbalances. So I would suggest you to add into water some electrolyte solution.
Okay.
Very good.
Can you a little bit, great. Can you explain a little bit about electrolytes and also the mineral? What is the difference between
Okay.
them? Yeah.
So mainly electrolytes contains, they are
Similar.
similar. So mainly they contain macro minerals, things like sodium, potassium, calcium. These are minerals that you need more in a day. Yeah, but that has also need to be containing some micro mineral and trace minerals. For example, things like magnesium, zinc, and then other types of trace minerals, which are also important for your cell function. And then, if you don't drink mineralized water, the water don't really go into your cell so effectively.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's why the minerals are very important.
Yes.
So that we can have the water.
Yeah. So it helps to hydrate your cell even better with mineral.
Okay. Great to know. Even like really high quality of the salt, it's okay to add. Would you
Yeah,
say
salt
to the water?
It's good, but I think the better option would be the trace minerals, supplements, solutions.
Okay.
It's more targeted. Yeah. Because for some salt, right, there can be risk for contamination. For example, our sea salt, yeah, they extract it from the sea, and then most of our sea are kind of polluted.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so there are risks for
Good
some
point.
contamination.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's better to have a cleaner source of like electrolytes.
Nice to know. It can be powder, it can be capsule.
Yeah, it can be capsule, can be powder, can be in a liquid form.
Liquid form
You just
too.
add a few drops into your water, then you. Lastly is talk about workout, because I see you are quite an active person.
Yep.
And then you almost do exercise and
Yeah,
work
also do
out
that.
every day.
Yep.
So based on the video that you showed me, you do this what we call this, the initial load training, is it?
Yeah.
So it's good to do that before you do any form of exercise, because it helps to improve the range of movement and all. And then after that you go with the cardio,
Yeah.
very intense,
Yeah,
hypoxic
that was,
cardio.
yeah, I was gonna, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is kind of very intense kind of
Yeah,
exercise. I wouldn't recommend to do this kind of very intense exercise every day. So you need to have at least 1 day gap in between.
At least on the gap.
At least 1 day gap. So most likely, at most you do 3 times in a week. Yeah. But when we talk about longevity, the type of exercise that you want to do is more of, when we talk about cardio for longevity, it's more of things like zone 2 exercise. Have you heard about that? Yeah. So we want to maintain at a steady pace, and the moment when we are exercising, you can still talk to someone beside you.
Okay.
Yeah. So at that kind of pace, it's actually most beneficial for longevity and also for your heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we wanna think about longevity or anti-aging, we shouldn't do that kind of exercise, honestly.
You can do, but not every day.
Frequent.
Not too frequent. Because intense exercise does produce a lot of inflammation and then a lot of oxidative stress to your cell that it may accelerate aging. We don't want too much of that.
So great to know. But so many people ask me as well about this question. So I would like to ask you. So intense training, such as that kind of training, right? Like what I did, that one. A lot of people say that if we want to go with the anti-aging longevity, we shouldn't do that much exercise. We only have to, even like some people say jogging is not good, right? So what is your answer? What is the best way for that, especially jogging or running or even like heat training, right? Like how should we avoid that at all? Or jogging is okay? Or once a week is okay with that intense training? What is your answer?
Okay, so intense exercise, it will improve your something called VO2 max.
Okay.
You see your fitness in like a pyramid. So the intense exercise like HIIT or the hypoxic training, it will improve the peak, meaning the performance, VO2 max. But the base of the pyramid is will improve by those slow, steady state kind of zone 2 exercise. So when you talk about longevity, the base is much more important. The peak is more for performance. Yeah, I won't say it's not important, but you can do it sparingly, maybe 2 to 3 times per week, not every day. Yeah.
So
you should maintain with the base exercise regularly.
Okay. For longevity and for anti-aging.
Then something to add on, because I didn't see any type of like strength training. I think this is something much more important if you talk about longevity, because muscle is a longevity organ. Because as you age, you tend to lose muscle, especially after 50 years old. Your muscle loss will be much faster. Yeah. So you need to build up certain reservoir of muscle, or you need to at least maintain the muscle mass through strength training.
So even I do soccer almost 5 times a week.
This is mainly cardio based, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do more strength training as well.
You need to add in some strength training. I would recommend at least 2 times, but best is 3 times in a week to build up some muscle.
Okay. Great to know. Okay. Well, good to know, because I didn't know that strength training is very important for longevity for advantage. But yeah, I've heard that some people do that. What is it called? Grip power as well.
Grip strength also is one of the reflection of your longevity.
Yep. That's interesting and very fun. Okay. Sounds good. はい、ということでね、ドクター本当にありがとうございました。Thank you so much. めちゃくちゃ勉強になりました。たったのこのちょっと何分かわかんないですけど、10分15分めちゃくちゃ勉強になりました。僕もね、相当いろんなことをやり込んでる自信はあったんですけど、やっぱりどこかで事故になってたりとかね、あとはやっぱ世界トップレベルの基準っていうところまではね、ちょっと行ってなかったんだなっていうね、悔しさもありつつ、でも改めて勉強になったんで、またね、明日から早速このモーニングルーティンでね、やり込んでいこうというふうに思いました。結局ね、こういった、健康っていうのもそうですし、若返りもそうですけど、こういった本当に 1%、もしくはもっと言えば 0.1% の積み重ねだと思うんですよね。で、その積み重ねによって少しずつ若返ったりとか、少しずつ健康になっていくことができると思うので、オイルプディングなんかもね、めんどくさいなって思うかもしれないですけど、本当に一瞬で終わるんでね、そういったものをね、ぜひ今後も取り組んでいければなというふうに思っていますし、ドクターだったり他のね、様々な医師たちの監修、そしてアドバイスのもとですね、私もパワーアップして皆さんにお届けできればというふうに思ってますんで、このチャンネルではね、このプロセス、私の若返りのプロセスをね、全出ししていこうというふうにね、思っています。私自身の体のね、詳細等も含めて全部出していこうというふうに思ってますので、ぜひね、面白いなとかね、これからまたますます見たいなっていうふうに思っていただけた方はですね、高評価、グッドボタンと、チャンネル登録の方もよろしくお願いいたします。それではまたね、次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さよなら。Thank you.